welcome back. And today is our second podcast this year. Today is Tuesday, March 29th. Today we're just going to be talking about sports, NBA at least, MLB, NFL, soccer, main sports I like. So we got a good episode for you today. And the first topic we're going to talk about is the NBA. Alright, so we look at the first topic here. Let's talk about the NBA standings here in the Eastern Conference. We're going to talk about the Eastern Conference first. Look at that right here. Miami Heat, 48-28. They're playing good basketball, but down the stretch, they're kind of struggling as of late. The Sixers and Bucks and the Celtics have all came back one game back. We look at it there. The Boston Celtics are the hottest team in the East right now. That's hard to believe, man. They're playing some good basketball as of late. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, that defense is getting them, but they had a tough injury, I think, with Robert Williams. I'm not sure how long he's out for, but Celtics are hot right now. But I'm not too convinced about them in the playoffs. I'm just not too convinced about them in the playoffs. We got some big games on tonight. Celtics, man, they go against the Nets first round. Let's say they get the 1 seed. Does Boston really beat the Nets? I get it. I get that the Nets, they had some slack. They're getting Simmons probably back playoffs. You get Kyrie back. You get Kyrie back from home games. Get KD, Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, been a nice addition to this Brooklyn Nets basketball team. But we talk about it right here. Milwaukee Bucks, obviously the NBA champions. No one's gonna beat them, man. No one's gonna beat them. Maybe the only team I really think that can really give this Bucks a series in the East is probably the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers with Harden and Embiid, man. I don't know. Those guys need to have big playoff games, but I'm not convinced about Miami. I'm not convinced about Boston. I'm not really convinced about these two teams here. But Miami's still got the 1 seed at 48-28. Some other teams down here: Chicago 43-32, Toronto 43-32. We look at it here. We look right here. Even the Cavaliers, man, they're 42-33 with Jared Allen. They're a dangerous team, man. They're playing good basketball without Colin Sexton. You can't just do that. And then look at the play-in. We got some hot teams here. So it'd be the Cavs versus the Nets and the Hornets versus the Hawks. Who wins those play-in games to me? The Hornets versus the Hawks? Let's say it ended today. I think the Hornets would beat the Hawks, man. I really do. The Hawks, man, they have a good offense. A very good offense. But when it comes to defense, they're not doing anything. They're not really doing anything special. The Hawks are giving up at least 113 points a game. And they're scoring 113 a game. You're not going to win basketball games like that when you get 113 points a game, man. And we look at it here, the NBA, man. You're always looking. And the Bucks, they're the hottest team. They got Brook Lopez back. Their bench is deep this year. Once again, they probably have the best starting five in the Eastern Conference, but that's a team, man. They're scoring in ways, man. We look at it here. There's a lot of things to come down to this year, but look at their defense. They get up 111 a game, but their offense is under 14 a game, man. But the best team with the defense here is probably the Miami Heat. The Raptors have pretty good defense here, as we see, but the Hawks, man. My bad. They're getting up 104 a game, 112 a game. They won 2 straight. They're 7-3 in the last 10. We look at it here. The Raptors, they have won 6 straight games here. They won 3 in a row. I say 6. They're 8-2 in the last 10. But look at it here. Any teams here that help the Knicks? The Knicks get in, they're 4 games out. They're 5 games out at least, 4.5. Washington's also 5 games out. So if you want to give me, I'll give you my conference semifinals predictions here. I think Milwaukee is going to get the 1 seed. I do think they'd get the 1 seed here. And they're going to go up against I think Boston. Boston stays at the 4. They beat Chicago in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. They beat them. And the other side over here is going to be Miami versus Philly. That's what it's going to be. Brooklyn, man, I'm not sure, man. I'm just not sure. I think they probably will get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I'm not sure about that. We look at it here. We got Miami, Philly. So okay, Miami and the Philly series. I think Miami wins in 7 again. Jimmy Butler this time. He hits a shot. He hits a game winner in Game 7. Miami's in the Eastern Conference Finals. Then look at Milwaukee, Boston. People are not going to like what I said. But Boston wins in 7. Yes, you said I wasn't convinced. But the way they're playing right now, let's say Robert Williams comes back. No, I'm just kidding. Milwaukee wins in 5 easily. You really thought Boston could beat Milwaukee in the series? No, they cannot beat Milwaukee in the series. If let's say no one gets hurt from Milwaukee, you're not going to beat them in a series. You're not just going to go win in a series here and say, oh, we can win. We can win. We can beat this team. No. In the Eastern Conference Finals, Miami versus Milwaukee, Milwaukee wins in 5. Yeah, you obviously, I got the Milwaukee hat symbol. But come on. Is there anybody that can stop Giannis? Playoff Giannis? Playoff Giannis onto the combo? No. Absolutely not. The only way you're stopping him if you double or triple team him. You're not going to stop him. You better hope Milwaukee shoots terrible from the 3. You're not going to beat them. And we talked about it here. Let's be honest. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. They're both playing good basketball. They played on the men's Olympics basketball team, man. You're not going to beat them here. But, yeah, let's go into the Western Conference here. Phoenix is a league's best 61-14. They're playing a really good ball. Chris Paul really just makes his team a lot better, man. Ways Devin Booker can just create his own shots because of him. And another hot team, man. You're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. The 2 teams in the West that clinched the playoff spot, the Suns and Grizzlies already. But Memphis, man, you see what they're doing to teams, man? They beat Milwaukee by a score, like 20 points the other night. 25, I think. They beat Golden State by a score of 123-95. I get the Warriors don't have Curry, but did Clay play that game? Clay didn't play. Draymond Green didn't play, but the Warriors are nothing without Clay, Draymond. They need them 3 in the lineup, and that makes what makes the Warriors special here. But Memphis, man, they've been really good basketball as of late, man. They're 91 in the last 10. They have won 5 in a row. And John Morant, they're doing this without John Morant too. It's not like they have John Morant. Sometimes they win. They win without Ja too. That's what makes the Grizzlies good. Attila Jenkins, he's done a great job with his Memphis Grizzlies, man. He's done a great job. And I remember Dylan Brooks saying somewhere in 2020, we can't wait to trade Andre Iguodala. That's what he said. Because they said they were going to be playing way better basketball once he got out of the team, man. I just don't know, man. But Memphis really is a team in the East. Talk about the other teams now. Golden State, Dallas, Utah. Utah, as much as I'm a Jazz fan as well, I'm a big fan of them. They're not going to beat anybody in the playoffs, man. They don't scare anybody. They're 45-30. The thing about Utah, they beat the teams under 500 by a lot. But once they go against a 500 team, they don't know how to play. They just don't know how to play basketball. They don't know. They can't win. I get it. They don't have Ingles traded to Portland. Bogdanovich has been out the last couple of games. And they've been on a little losing streak. Gobert didn't play yesterday, but look at Utah's last couple of games here. I was going to say. They lose by 14 to Dallas. They lose by 7 to Hornets. They lose by 8 to Brooklyn. They lose by 27 to 28, I should say, to Boston. And they were hot for a second. They got some wins against the Bulls, the Clippers, and Knicks. But then they go against some other teams that are pretty. They could go make a run in the West and in the East, and they can't beat them. They just cannot beat them, man. That's why Utah Jazz. Hope the Jazz, man. They always get to the playoffs, man, which is good. Quinn Snyder's always getting to the playoffs, which is good. But they just can't get past the Western Conference Finals. Western semifinals, my bad. But a lot of things to do here. Minnesota, Denver, Clippers. We got the play in here. I just want to talk about the play in. Also, the Denver Nuggets, a 6 seed at 45-31. They get Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. back. That team could be tough to beat, man. That team could be a problem. If Jamal Murray can go at least 20 minutes a game, average 15 and 8, and shoot over 50%, maybe 45%, they could be a serious threat in the Western Conference. They can be a serious threat. So we look at the play in here we got Minnesota, the Lakers, The Clippers, Pelicans. Talk about the other night, the Lakers blew a 23-point lead to the Pelicans. And guess what? Guess who's a half a game right behind the Lakers at the 10th seed? That's San Antonio Spurs and Greg Popovich. DeJounte Murray, man. Underrated point guard. Really good. Almost averages a triple-double every night. Almost. So when I go into his stats this year, man, you're gonna be like, oh, what are you talking about? How is he averaging that many points a game? Look at this other night, 33, 7, 11. Look at his stats this year. He was a first-time All-Star, I think. I think this is first-time All-Star, I believe. 21, 8, and 9. 21, 8, and 9. Get this guy another man to play with. Get DeJounte Murray another guy to play with, man. Maybe you trade for Bradley Beal. I know Bradley Beal wants to stay in Washington. But, man, get this guy another man to play with. He needs another body here in San Antonio. The San Antonio Spurs are red hot, too. They won 4 in a row against Golden State, Portland, New Orleans, and Houston. They're hot. And this is a big topic here. Do they get in the play-in? And who doesn't get in the play-in? The Lakers are not going to play-in. They're not. Unless LeBron can has some energy in the tank to drop another 50-point game, unless the Lakers can start playing good team ball, they're not going into the play-in, man. San Antonio's going to take that spot, man. You let San Antonio get back in it. They were just 4.5 about 2 weeks ago. 4.5 games 2 weeks ago. Now it's down a half game. And we're in a stretch of March 28th, 29th. There's a couple weeks of basketball left. Do you want to get into the play-in or not? That's the biggest concern for me with the Lakers, man. They don't want to get in the play-in. They don't care. They need Anthony Davis back. I think they're getting him back soon, but do the Lakers really want to get here? What they got, what they did. Let's talk about the Lakers this year. Let's just talk about the Lakers. I'm sorry, but I'm talking about the Lakers here. You get Anthony Davis. I believe they gave him a Supermax contract. I think they did. I'm not sure. I don't think they did, actually. I'm not sure if they did. I think they did, but I'm not sure. You have Russell Westbrook. He's been playing better basketball as of late. I've been seeing him shooting better. But then you get all these old dudes and say, oh yeah, we're a super team. We're a so-called super team. This isn't 2010, LeBron. This isn't 2010 when these guys can play. This isn't 2012. This isn't 2015. This is 2022. You really think a bunch of old guys compete with a whole bunch of good guys? No offense. I get that the experience comes. But when you're taking a young team, a team that's ready to play like the Memphis Grizzlies, a team like the Phoenix Suns, I know they just have one old man. They got a couple of good vets, but they got a lot of good young talent on that team with DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker. You think you're going to beat them in a 7-game series? You see what they did to you last year, Lakers? You see what they did to you last year, Lakers? They beat you in the playoffs. They didn't care about you. They didn't care if you're LeBron and AD. They beat you. Yeah, that's my concern with the Lakers. They don't have enough firepower. Not a good enough young talent on this team. What's his name? Taylor Horton Tucker. Probably says name wrong. Excuse me. I think there's pressure on him to be averaging some big points. Austin Reeves. He's been okay at times. You get Stanley Johnson. Only if this guy could score a little bit more. Where's the Arizona Stanley Johnson at? He's nowhere to be found, man. The only thing he provides for Lakers is good hustle. But he doesn't score his 20 points, maybe double-double. People expected that for him. Is there still time for him to do this? Probably. But he needs to hit his shots. You have LeBron, man. Stanley Johnson, this should be easy for you to score. But anyways, we go back to the playoffs. My Western Conference predictions now. Phoenix is definitely the one. They're going to go against Denver. I think Denver climbs up to the 5th. I think it'll be Nuggets, Suns in the conference semifinals. And then on the other side, it's going to be the Grizzlies, probably versus look at that real quick. The Grizzlies are going to go against who's the 3rd seed? My bad, guys. My bad. The 3rd seed right now. Talk about NCAA basketball in a bit, but the 3rd seed right now in this conference. Yeah, it's Golden State. But I think Minnesota will jump into the 6th. and let's say Minnesota versus Memphis. So Minnesota Memphis, who wins that series? Let's talk about Minnesota actually real quick, man. I'll tell you that what happens, man. The Minnesota Timberwolves, man, 43-33. They got LeBron James Jr. on that team. Anthony Edwards, man, he can play. He can play the game, but sometimes he throws up 3-20 and scores 6 points. There's sometimes he does that. But the Grizzlies, man. I mean, not the Grizzlies, the Wolves. If any team's going against Minnesota Timberwolves right now, good luck. Good luck. That team, if they can show up, their best 3 players, D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, and Karl-Anthony Towns, could consistently have good games in their first round, they could be in the Western Conference semifinals. I really do think they're going to be in the Western Conference semifinals. I think they do. Utah, I don't think they're done. Their first round exit. As much as I don't want to say that to my team, their first round exit. So I honestly think it's going to be Memphis and Phoenix in the conference finals. The way Memphis is playing without Ja right now. You see Ja on the court, man. He's just been something else. He's just been amazing, man. He's been one of the highlight reels. He should have been in the dunk contest. He should have volunteered and joined the dunk contest and said, hey, I got to save the dunk contest. Dunk contest is a joke. Absolutely joke. Yeah, All-Star Weekend, dunk contest should not be the main event. 3-point contest. Look, Karl-Anthony Towns, center, wins the 3-point contest. You don't hear that. You don't hear that nowadays. You don't see a center winning a 3-point contest. You don't see that. Trae Young, he beat Trae, and he beat Luke Kennard from the Clippers. Shooters. These are actually professional shooters to shoot the basketball. They're supposed to shoot the 3. Trae Young's a little bit different, but Luke Kennard, 3 and D. All you do is need to shoot the 3, and he's a great shooter. Very great shooter. He got paid 4 years, $60 million. Did he deserve that? No. He didn't deserve that kind of money. Next topic I want to talk about. So my finals. All right, hold up. My finals probably gonna be Memphis versus Milwaukee. I think Memphis could beat Phoenix in a 7-game series. I really do. The Suns, man. The only reason I say this from the Suns, the Suns can go back to the finals. They're ready to go back to the finals, but I think Memphis is gonna shock the world this year. And they beat the Milwaukee Bucks in a 7-game series. Memphis beats Milwaukee in the finals. That's my prediction. Memphis versus Milwaukee. But anyways, we'll look at it here. The reason I don't think the Suns are going back to the NBA Finals this year, one thing I'm worried about is Chris Paul. I'm not sure how his hamstring injuries have been lately. You know, he did good last year, getting to the playoffs, the finals, without getting that one injury that I don't want him to have. But as much as I don't want to say this, I think his age is going to catch up and there will be an injury. I don't want to say this, but I think that Chris Paul is going to get hurt. I'm praying he doesn't. I hope he doesn't, but it's just, let's not talk about that. Let's say they're not hurt. If he doesn't get hurt, the Grizzlies could still beat the Suns in a 7-game series. Okay, we'll be right back, guys. Next topic we'll be talking about the Final Four. My predictions. I'll be back. So welcome back. My Final Four here set. So let's talk about the Final Four and talk about the NCAA March Madness. First of all, I want to thank St. Peter's for giving us a good March Madness this year. 15 seed, get into the Elite Eight. Give them a round of applause. Also, fuck you, Wisconsin Badgers, for losing the round 32. Chucky Hepburn, wish you the best. Wish you the best recovery. But Wisconsin, you failed us this year. Round 32 exit, Iowa State. Tyrese Hunter, the home state hero here in Wisconsin. We're seeing good tournament for him, getting his team to the Sweet 16, eventually losing to Miami. But the first thing I want to talk about is the ACC conference before we get to our matchups here. The ACC. Miami, North Carolina, and obviously Duke was going to get to the Final Four. Obviously they were going to get to the Final Four. My bracket was Duke on one side versus, I think I had Baylor. And the other side, I actually had Villanova and Kansas. I did. But the ACC conference failed this year until the March Madness tournament, until the NCAA tournament. Even Virginia Tech, they beat Duke. They won their ACC title. But the ACC did their job. They got 2 teams. 3 teams in the Elite Eight, 2 teams in the Final Four. But let's just talk about North Carolina versus Duke. Who's going to win that matchup? And here's why I'm going to say. I think Duke, okay, they say, hey, this is a team that beat us at our home stadium. A very good North Carolina team. A very good North Carolina basketball team here. They came in, RJ Davis, I believe Caleb had some big games. Manic had a good game. This North Carolina team is different. They're a different team now. Duke is a different team. Duke has been playing good basketball. They've been winning some good games here. And I think Duke's going to win this game. Because this is Coach K's last year. They're going to give it their all. They're going to play harder. They're going to want to win more. Not going to say North Carolina doesn't have a chance to win this game, but North Carolina, it's the Final Four here. I think North Carolina can win. I do think they can win too. RJ Davis, the backcourt is going to have a big game. Manic is going to have to shoot like he's been shooting this whole tournament. And I think his name, this guy from North Carolina Center, Mancock, what his name is. That guy's good. He's very good. But they got Paolo. Got a lot of good guys on this team. Him, Paolo, Wendell Carter, I believe his name. Wendell Moore, I think. Wendell Moore. My bad if I'm getting his name. I should be doing my research before I do this. But I like doing these podcasts. That's going to be a good game. I think Duke would win 88-82. It's going to be close. It's going to overtime. It's definitely going to overtime. Duke punched their ticket to the national championship game. The other side, Kansas versus Villanova. Bill Shaw versus Wright. That's going to be a good game as well. Villanova just told everybody, we're back. We're back, baby. Colin Gillespie's last year. This is his last year, man. Colin Gillespie. His last year here in the league. He's been playing good. Colin Gillespie. Villanova's going to be a team. But Kansas, they have some big guys there. Especially the guy on that screen you see, number 30, man. That guy can ball. Below J. What his name is. It's a tough name to pronounce, but I'm bad if I get it wrong. But Kansas versus Villanova is going to be good as well. It's going to be a great game. I think Villanova has the edge over Kansas, though. This is a team that won a national title. This is a team that has won a national title with Colin Gillespie. I want to say he won a national title. They got experience. They play a 6-man rotation, and they do not get tired. They do not get tired, this 6-man rotation. But Kansas, man, if you're going to beat this Villanova team, you got to shoot better than them. You got to rebound, and your bigs need to dominate like they've been dominant this whole NCAA tournament. It's going to be Villanova versus Duke in the final. And who wins that game? Duke is going to beat Villanova by 20. Villanova's run is going to come up. Coach K goes up at it. Coach K finally finds a way to win. This Duke team, man, they're not a team to mess with. The Final Four, this has been a great NCAA tournament, man. A lot of teams made runs, especially these first rounds. But this has been one of the greatest NCAA tournaments in a while. It's been a good one. Great NCAA tournament, man. People are saying if Duke wins, it's rigged. I don't think basketball is rigged. If they get a lot of fouls called, it's because the referees are trying to do the job. There's pressure on them. You got to remember that. There's pressure on these refs to make the right calls. As much as I want to say it's rigged if Duke wins, which sometimes I feel like saying that, it's not going to be rigged. I don't think college is rigged. I don't think it's rigged. It's not professional sports. But, the NFL is rigged. I can tell you that. The NFL is rigged. We'll talk about that later, though. But this Final Four has been really great. Duke versus Villanova. I'm not saying Kansas and North Carolina don't have a chance. These are just my predictions here. So, we'll be right back. Next topic we'll be talking about is the MLB. Some big free agents transactions around the league. Let's get right into the MLB, man. What is MLB season been like? It's going to be like this far. Team preview of the day. Talk about some teams. Two teams. Talk about two teams today. First of all, I'm going to talk about Milwaukee Brewers. People are sleeping on the Milwaukee Brewers this year. And the reason I say that people are sleeping on the Milwaukee Brewers, they got the best rotation in baseball. That's one thing you got to know. They got the best pitching in baseball. They do. This year they're going to do Corbin, Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta. Adrian Hauser. Adrian Hauser's going to have a good year. This man, they got from Astros, 2015 for Carlos Gomez and that Michael Fiers year. They got those guys. They're going to be a good team. The Milwaukee Brewers. They got four good pitchers. Whoever the fifth is, whoever's going to be the fifth, which I made by Eric Lauer, the Milwaukee Brewers had the best pitching in baseball. And look what they added here for the lineup. This is the potential starting lineup. Colton Wong batting first, Christian Yelich second, third, Adames, fourth, McCutchen, fifth, you put Roddy Tellez, sixth, Hunter Renfroe, seventh, get Lorenzo Cain, eighth, Narvaez, and ninth, who runs it, man. The Brewers got a potential great starting five. I'm not saying they had the best offense in baseball. They don't have the best offense in baseball. But they got a top 5 offense in the National League. And when you have the top 5 national offense in the National League, and the best pitching in baseball, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a tough team to beat. If Christian Yelich can go back to MVP form, if Keston Hiura for the Brewers can also go back to hitting the baseball, which he's been doing a great job, batting .467 in spring training right now. This guy's unreal. McCutchen hit a couple home runs. He's hot in spring training. Brewers could be a team you don't want to see. That is if their offense can show up. They had a good offensive game, even though they lost Game 5, or Game 4, my bad, to Atlanta. Roddy Tellez stayed in Game 1. If Roddy Tellez can at least bat .275, hit 20 home runs, 50 RBIs, the Brewers, man, they're going to be a team to beat, man. They're going to be a team you want to see. So, Milwaukee Brewers, man, the team is ready to go. And we talk about the Chicago Cubs now. We got some Cubs fans here. Let's drop a like here. Chicago Cubs, man, their team. We're talking about it's the NL Central preview. NL Central preview today. So, we get the Cubs. Talk about the Cubs, man. They got that guy. They got biggest addition is probably Marcus Stroman. Yeah, Marcus Stroman, man, he could pitch. He had a great year with the New York Mets a year ago. But let's just go over the roster. What do you got? They got Seiya Suzuki, a guy from Japan. Is it going to be overhyped? Is he a Shohei Ohtani? He's not like a Shohei Ohtani, but he has potential to be really good for the Cubs. Plays center field. He picked 27 because his boy's Mike Trout. Chicago Cubs, man. The Cubs are going to be a great team. But not a playoff team. They're not making the playoffs. Some of the rule changes. Let me go over some of the rule changes real quick. I want to talk about the Cubs real quick. They get next year we get no shifts. DH added in now. There's a couple more other rules here, which I'll have to look up eventually. But let's go back to the Chicago Cubs. Frank Schwindner, the guy they got from the A's, in a big deal last year. He's going to be very good. Wilson Contreras is going to be good. Jason Hayward, no, not going to be good. Nick Madrigal, Patrick Wisdom, those are the guys. Nick Madrigal has potential to be a really good second baseman for the Cubs. A very good second baseman. Ian Gomes. Got Ian Happ here. Kyle Hendricks. See if I can better you. Cody Howard's going to be a good bullpen pitcher. The Cubs have talent. The Cubs got some talent. But I rank them fourth. I'm ranking them fourth in the NL Central. Fifth place is Cincinnati. Don't want to talk about their farm system team. We're not going to talk about Cincinnati because they'll be last place in the division. In third place, Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates, man. What they added. They added a couple of good bats, but this team is going to surprise a lot of people. They're going to surprise. They're going to be like a 68. They're going to be a 70-win team this year, but third place. Because the NL Central, I think the Cubs are a 70-win team. The Reds are a 58-win team, man. You think the Reds are going to win games this year? Joey Votto, is he going to get traded? That's the question with Joey Votto. Does he get traded this year, man? That's the real question. Does Joey Votto get traded? We don't know. I don't know if he gets traded. I really don't. And I'm hoping, we're hoping he does get traded, but he deserves to be in the winning baseball team. Hey, maybe the Milwaukee Brewers can make a trade for him. Maybe the Yankees, like usual. Maybe one of those Dodgers teams make a trade for him. I don't see Joey Votto staying there the whole year. I don't. I know he wants to be a Red for life. I know he does. If he does, good for him. Good for him. A loyal player. But sadly, you're not going to win a championship soon in Cincinnati. So I'm hoping he does get traded here. Alright, the St. Louis Cardinals. Biggest news there, they had Albert Pujols. The Cardinals roster is stacked, St. Louis Cardinals. If Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt can have big years again, Paul DeJong goes back to form. A great shortstop. Yeah, Yachty coming back again, I think. Cardinals roster. The OGs are back. Albert Pujols and Yachty, like I said. Adam Wainwright, Steven Matz, Harrison Bader, good young, fast man. Jordan Hicks had a down year last year. Jake Flaherty, great pitcher. Very great pitcher there. Taylor O'Neill, Corey Dickerson, Dylan Carlson, Tom Edelman. The list goes on and on. Alex Reyes, man. This St. Louis Cardinals team is taking first. It's going to take first, I believe. Both the Brewers and Cardinals are going to the MLB playoffs. They're both going. And the Cardinals and Brewers, man, expect that to be a rematch. The National League Champion Series rematch. It could be potential National League Championship Series. Obviously, the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. We're not talking about the NL West. That'll be tomorrow, if we have time to make this. But the Brewers and Cardinals, they're going to the playoffs. Like I said, those teams are going to make some noise. Those are both 90-win teams. Both 90-win teams. So that's NL Central. So it'll be Cardinals, Brewers, Pirates, Cubs, Reds. Those are my predictions for the National League standings this year. It's going to be very fun to watch. These two teams go at it. And we'll be right back. So welcome back. Next topic we're going to talk about is the NFL. This is my podcast. Little stuff we add, some pictures, We'll try to make it better throughout what we can do. We'll be playing around with stuff, but we're talking about the NFL now. The first thing we're talking about the NFL is one rule I've seen today is the NFL playoff. What I think about that rule. It's the NFL playoff rule. Will both teams get overtime rule? First of all, I want to say something real quick. I want to say, Aaron Rodgers, man, Green Bay Packers, bro. Being a Green Bay Packers fan, you deserve that contract. Thank you, Devontae Adams, for being a Green Bay Packer. Wish you well in Oakland. Let's go back to the rule I was talking about. What do I think about this rule personally? I do not like it. Why is it just the NFL playoffs? There could be some big time regular season games going on, and yeah, we need both. We need this rule to be both in effect here. What I wish they would have done, do college football overtime rules. But the thing is, you start at 25 or the 30 or 35. Where the heck you start? I'm not sure. I think it's 25, 30, 35. One of the two. You should start at the 50 here in the NFL. Both teams get possession of the ball, right? And you drive down. Let's say one team scores, touchdown. The other team scores, touchdown. And you go to the second overtime. Or the second team who has the ball goes for 2 and wins the game. That's what they should have done. They should have done playoff college football because you can't rely on the defenses to bail you out in games. I think it goes down to the offense. I really do. Unless the opposing team, the first overtime drive of the game, the defense picks it off, it's over. Yeah, that's all it does. That's going to be the same thing. It's still in effect. But I'm not a big fan of what the rule they did for this rule in the NFL. I'm not a big fan. No, I'm not a big fan of this rule at all, But it's the NFL. No, they do what they do. No. But let's talk about some of the big transactions. Like, you guys already know what happened. Von Miller going to Buffalo. Another thing I want to talk about as well is what happened with the Randy Gregory, I believe, and Zadarius Smith. Both of these guys were gonna come back. He was gonna come back to Dallas. Another guy, and Zadarius, is going to Baltimore. And we could also put the running back, what's his name? J.D. McKissick. Another guy that was going to go to Buffalo. I know there's probably a lot more we can do, but example, man. What is up with these guys saying, "Oh, we're signing here today," and then a couple hours later, "Oh, we don't want to go here anymore. We don't want to go here anymore." I feel like if you sign something, you sign something. I'm not sure if they officially signed their contract, but let's say they didn't. If they didn't sign that, let's say they did sign that, you can't just change your mind and say, "Hey, I want to go somewhere else." You're on contract under the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, the Dallas Cowboys. You just can't change your mind. I'm not a fan of that. You can't change your mind. That's like saying, let's say a big man, Devontae Adams, he signed with Oakland because he wanted to go. He got traded. Let's say he signed with Oakland. Let's say Green Bay brings a couple of receivers. Oh, I want to go back. The team's looking pretty stacked. No. If you sign a contract this summer, you sign there. You officially gets reported by Adam Schefter, Ian, wherever the big time names, the big time analysts are in the NFL. You should just stay there. As we look for something real quick. My bad. Here it is. But it's a very interesting topic to talk about, these NFL signings that you don't want to sign there no more. It's a very interesting topic here to talk about. But some of the big names here, NFL, man, NFL draft's getting close. I'm going to break down some of that later. I'm a big fan of the NFL. I love the NFL. There's a lot of things we got to talk about. Not that much of the NFL. I'm not very much of the NFL expert. I'm going to be an NBA expert. But so far, the best team, the team that has won free agency this year, I think the Buffalo Bills have won free agency this year. I do think they won free agency. Even though they got a big name, Bob Miller. They signed a couple other guys too. Jaguars were the team that they spent the most. They got on all the guys. They're saying, "Hey, we're not a free agent spender every year. This is our 1 year we're going to spend, and we're going to try to progress these guys." I like what Jacksonville's doing. I really do. Getting Trevor Lawrence some weapons, getting some running backs. Miami Dolphins also. I think they tied with the Buffalo for winning free agency. What they added there, they had good linemen. Get a Tyreek Hill. You get a whole bunch of good players. Him and Eric Weddle, or Eric Waddle. I think that's his name. Him and Tyreek could be very good. No? That Miami Dolphins. The question is, to Telagova, two. Can he have the hype? There's also been some rumors on Tom Brady getting traded to Miami. I don't know about that one, but you never know. You never know. Miami got a good team over there. It's warmer. It's warm in Miami. And Tampa Bay, but it's about 10 degrees. So, but talking about Green Bay, man. Let's talk about my Green Bay Packers. They need some wide receivers. And obviously, they're probably going to draft 2 in the draft. I believe if they don't get anybody, they don't get Jarvis, they don't get Odell, they don't get anybody else who's out in free agency, they'll probably draft 2 in the first round. Don't be surprised if they do. I see it happening. That's what they need to do. Add 2. Their defense is fine, man. They got a stacked defense, man. The Green Bay Packers, man. A great defense. They shut down San Francisco in the playoffs last year, even though they lost. So, we'll see what happens. But the Green Bay Packers, man, make some good moves. I think Green Bay Packers take the NFC still. Minnesota, how about Zadarius go to Minnesota? Him and there's another dude for the Green Bay Packers. I think that's signed in Minnesota. Chandler Sullivan, I believe. He was all right at times, but he wasn't the greatest. He wasn't great. Be very interesting to see these Minnesota Vikings, man. They have the talent. They have the players to be a great team, but Kirk Cousins, man, has to be consistent. Dalvin Cook needs to stay healthy. Justin Jefferson, now Thielen. Thielen needs to stay healthy too. Justin Jefferson, keep doing what you're doing. You're my favorite receiver in the NFL. So, Minnesota Vikings, man. They did some great job this offseason. Chicago Bears, what are they doing? Oh, they're still trying to figure out a quarterback. They signed Marcus Simeon. Also today, Jameer Peppers signed with the New England Patriots. Some big moves today. And that's basically everything we need to know about the NFL. There's been a lot of trades. It's already happened, but this is my thing. So we'll be talking about team previews coming up in June. That'll be a series of July, actually, team previews. So I hope you enjoy that series. As last thing we're talking about will be soccer when we get back. So one thing I want to talk about soccer today is the FIFA World Cup qualifying for the CONFA. Canada, the top team that they got into the World Cup for the first time. Canada, man, they dominated their World Cup qualifying, man. Canada is much different, man. Their team, they're very good. Canada soccer, man, they're playing good. USA beat Panama 5-1, and they clinch a World Cup spot. They should clinch a World Cup spot. They're a 5-1 win. They're closer, I just think. Mexico and Costa Rica. I think Costa Rica versus the U.S. next game. It's going to be a great game. And if Costa Rica wins, it's going to be very interesting here. Because if Mexico draws, they're in. Mexico needs to draw. That's all they got to do. And they're getting into the world. They can get in no matter what. They won't have to play the qualifying game. But the 4 teams already in the CONFA are ready to go. And Costa Rica versus the U.S., Mexico versus El Salvador next game, and Canada goes against Panama. Panama, man, they beat the U.S., man, 1-0. A couple weeks, a month. I think it was a month ago. And then they get blown out to the U.S., Panama almost had a chance to get into the World Cup. They almost did, but they failed. So the 4 teams are already set. And let's say the end of today, Costa Rica will be in their qualifying. It will be like a play-in game to get into the World Cup. It'll be a play-in game. Whoever they're most first up against, they go against the team. That's what it is. So, I want to talk about Mexico real quick. Obviously, the team isn't the same no more. It's not the same. Mexico team, national team is not the same, man. The U.S. is beating Mexico. The U.S. has got very good. That should not be happening. Mexico's young talent, or it's not even their fault. It's not even their talent. It's their coach, man. The coach is not good. He's not a good coach. This is not a Mexican team they're afraid of. This is not the Mexico team that beat Germany in the last World Cup. This is not that same team. Irving Lozano is struggling to be good for Mexico. But I'm not saying he's a bad coach, though. Mexico is underperforming, underachieving. They should be dominated. But shout out to Canada and the U.S. for being a better soccer team. To give Mexico some good competition. Costa Rica has always been there too. They've been decent years. They've been a decent team. They made it to the World Cup, I believe, the last 2 years. The last 2. But Mexico and Costa Rica. Mexico, they should be El Salvador. And U.S. Costa Rica, that game's on Paramount Plus. That should be a good game as well. So I don't know my soccer knowledge, but this is one thing I like talking about, the Mexico. I love following Mexico. Big fan of them. But we'll get back into this stuff later. It's 2 o'clock, 2:35 here. Not really much I can talk about more. I'm not UFC. That'll be a separate podcast for UFC, boxing, separate podcast will be. And the next one we'll be talking about is we got a UFC podcast coming up with the Alex Palakis, maybe a couple more other people too. So he knows what he's talking about. Some opinions on who's gonna win. I'm a fan of UFC. WrestleMania, the next podcast, we'll probably get one tomorrow maybe. Every 2 days for sure there'll be a podcast. Just want to thank everybody who watched this. And subscriber here. I thank everyone. And there will be a wrestling video dropping tonight for my universe. Like I said, we're getting rid of SmackDown. We're going right into the pay-per-view. So we got a big pay-per-view tonight. It's Night of Champions. But this is my podcast. We talk about other things we want to. No hate here on this podcast. And yeah. Just want to thank everybody again. Have a good day. Peace out, boys. And full send it every time, boys.